What's up? It's your boy that Dragon J, back at it again with another Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be giving you my deck profile and my take on Thunder Dragons, the way I like to play it, the way I tend to play it, and just the cards that I use that I think are good, as well as some staples that I think are really good in general. And some of my favorite cards that I like to use across all of my decks, and the reason and utility and all that good stuff. Reason for me to use them. But with that being said, thank you for stopping by, tuning in, thank you, and appreciate you. And without further ado, before I ramble on any longer, let's get into this deck profile of Thunder Dragons. I will see you then. Okay, so we're here with my Thunder Dragon recipe and the way I like to play it. And before we start, I'm still missing some cards, but this is essentially what my completed Thunder Dragon deck is going to look like. And once again, I'll explain every card, the reason for them, why I have them, all that good stuff. But this is essentially what my completed deck recipe, or my take on what Thunder Dragons is going to look like and what I intend to do and all that. So let's get into it. So the first thing is, with Thunder Dragons, for the archetype, I play max of every card in the archetype. So I play max 3 Thunder Dragon Dark, I play max Thunder Dragon, I play max Thunder Dragon Matrix, I play max Thunder Dragon Hawk, and I'll play max Thunder Dragon Roar. I'll just go with a quick overview. Thunder Dragon. With Thunder Dragon, Thunder Dragon's effect is you discard it and you can add 1 or 2 Thunder Dragons, or you add a Thunder Dragon from your deck, and then you can add, and it's an option whether you want to add the second one. Thunder Dragon's Dark effect is you can discard it, add another Thunder Dragon Dark from your deck, or or if this card is on the field and sent from the graveyard or the bench zone from the field, then you can add a Thunder Dragon card directly from your deck. Thunder Dragon's Heart, you discard it, then you target 1 Thunder Dragon monster that is banished or in your graveyard, special summon it. Thunder Dragon Dark Roar, you discard it, then you can target 1 Thunder Dragon card that is banished or in your graveyard, added to your hand. Or if it's banished, you can special summon a Thunder Dragon monster from your deck and then return it to your hand at the end of the phase. And then Thunder Dragon Matrix, you can discard it, target a Thunder monster, it gains 500 attack, and well as if it's on the if it's on the field and is sent to the graveyard, you can add another Thunder Dragon Matrix from your deck to your hand, or if it's in the graveyard you banish it, you can add another Thunder Dragon Matrix from your deck to your hand. So that's a quick overview of all what the Thunder Dragon cards do. Then I have run 2 Maxis. You know what those do. You activate it, and every time your opponent special summons, you draw 1 card. 2 Ash Blossoms. When somebody wants to add a card from the deck to the hand, special summon from the deck, or send a card from the deck to graveyard, you play Ash Blossom, negate the effect. White Dragon Wavering Burst, you banish 1 Dart monster, special summon it, and then if it leaves the field, then you can add a Black Dragon Colib Serpent. I'm probably butchering that name. From your deck to your hand, and then vice versa. If you have a Black Dragon Colib Serpent in your hand, you can banish a light, special summon it, and then when it leaves, you can add a White Dragon Wyvern Burst from your hand. To your hand from your deck. Buster Dragon, you can equip this to a 1 Buster Blader monster you control. When the equipped monster, while the card is equipped to the monster, your opponent cannot special summon from their extra deck. And when it is equipped to the monster, you can also unequip it, special summon to the field. Denko Seko, basically while you control no set spell or traps, neither player can set spell or traps, and they can't activate set spell or traps on the field. Often Lupin, you normal summon it, banish 1 card from your hand, then banish 1 card from your deck of the same type, not attribute, type. Lava Golem, tribute 2 cards on your opponent's field, special summon to their field. They take 1,000 damage every turn. Chaos Creator, you banish a light and a dark, then you can special summon it. Then each turn you can target 3 of your banished monsters, shuffle 2 in the graveyard, special summon 1 to the field. Thunder Dragon, Thunder King, the Lightning Kaiju, the Lightning Strike Kaiju, yeah. Basically, you can tribute a monster on your opponent's field, special summon it, or if your opponent has a Kaiju on their field, you can special summon it to your field. And it's the same with the Radio Multi-Edition Kaiju. I'll explain why I have those in a minute. I run 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, just because it's really good to have that field wipe to wipe their magics. I'll run 1 Gold Sarcophagus. Banish 1 card from your deck during your second standby phase, add to your hand. I run 3 Allure Darkness. Basically, draw 2 cards, then banish 1 dark monster from your hand. Or if you don't, shuffle your send your entire hand to the graveyard. I play through 2 Thunder Dragon Fusions. Basically, you can fuse summon a Thunder Dragon by returning cards from your banishment or your graveyard back to your deck. I play 2 Chaos Space. You can send 1 light or dark from your hand. Add the opposite attribute with his light, dark. If it's dark, light. Add 1 card with the attribute to your hand. Calculus Cyclone, you pay 1,000, target 1 set spell or trap on the field, banish it. Mirror Force, opponent attacks, destroy their monsters. Turns to tribute when a monster is summoned, destroy a monster on the field. And then Mirror Force Launcher. Once per turn during your main phase, you can discard 1 card, add 1 Mirror Force from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If this set card is destroyed by a card effect, it's to the graveyard by your opponent's card effects in the graveyard. You can set this card from your graveyard and 1 Mirror Force from your hand, deck, or graveyard, and you can activate them that turn. So that's the overview of all the cards I have in my deck. Now I'm going to explain the way I like to play. The way I usually like to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is I like to play by locking my opponent out of their options and then going in for the knockout. That's usually my style of play when I play Yu-Gi-Oh! So decks that really just either destroy cards on the field or take away options are really the decks that I like to play. Even if it's tributing my opponent's monsters, that's still taking away their options because I'm taking away their monsters. And it really helps because when you tribute monsters, you don't have to worry about them negating it, because tribute is the one thing that technically can't be negated. It can be stopped if a card like stops you from tribute summoning, but at that point you're tributing their monsters. So it's a hard way to work around tributing somebody's monsters. Anyway, but the way I play this deck is first and foremost, this deck goes off of Thunder Dragon Titan and Thunder Dragon Colossus. Thunder Dragon Colossus effect is when it's on the field, your opponent cannot draw outside their draw phase. Meaning any cards that allow them to draw from their deck, any cards that they activate and it makes them draw, or any cards that they play then they draw from their deck, they can't even use. Like, can't activate it, can't do nothing as long as the card's on the field. What makes it really dope is that, if you notice, I run a lot of Thunder monsters in my deck. As long as you have Thunder monsters in your graveyard, whether this card will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish 1 Thunder monster to protect it, which is really good because then you get your Thunder monster effects off of that. Thunder Dragon Titan is really good because it works the same way, where if it will be damaged by card effect, yeah, it will be destroyed by card effect. You can banish 2 cards from your graveyard and protect it. The thing that's good about Thunder Dragon is that unlike Colossus, you don't need a specific Thunder monster. It could be 2 cards in general. So like magics or traps that you know you're not going to use again, you can kind of use them as fodder and kind of save your Thunder monsters for Colossus. But one of the main things I like to do with this deck is I like to summon Colossus, and then I like to use Wavering Burst and Black Coil Serpent to go into Union Carrier, and then from Union Carrier I equip Dragon Buster Destruction Sword to Thunder Dragon Colossus, which at that point I lock them out of doing extra draws and I lock them out of their extra deck. Now it's not super strong to a point where it's OP and it can't be stopped, because that card can easily get Kaiju or tributed, and then that kind of messes up the chain in the sense that it takes off the field. So that is something that can happen, but typically people don't really run a lot of Kaijus. They're starting to make an appearance a little bit more, but not to a point where they're like a prominent or a dominant factor in a lot of decks. So usually when I get that play off, it either allows me to stall them enough to go in for the knockout, or it completely shuts them down and it puts them in a really bad position, which if within like the next 2 or 3 turns, I can usually just do the damage and win. So that's the reason for this card. You know what the reason for Thunder Dragon Matrix is? The reason I like to use Thunder Dragon Matrix, because what I like to do is I like to summon Thunder Dragon Matrix, and if I have any Thunder Dragon card in my deck, mainly specifically Hawk or Thunder Dragon Dark or Lightning, I can tribute them, discard them, and then what that does is you can either summon this with Thunder Dragon Fusion, or if you have a Thunder Dragon monster on the field and then you discard a non-fusion Thunder Dragon monster to activate an effect, then you can tribute the Thunder Dragon monster on the field to special summon this card. So that's another way besides Thunder Dragon Fusion to summon this card. That's another reason why I don't run 3, I only run 2. Because you're really mainly using these for your Thunder Dragon Titans. Thunder Dragon Colossus has multiple ways to go on the field. I usually don't like to run Maxi in this deck, only because you want to only have one of each Thunder Dragon in your hand at a time, because if you have multiple, you can't really use their effect of discarding them to search your deck for one, and that kind of makes their primary usage not that good. So I usually don't like running Maxi, but I at least run 2, because I've been running problems where I actually need to draw cards, or I can't stop chains, and Maxi is a good way to interrupt chains. I run 2 Ash Blossoms just to stop potential combos with draw power, because sometimes you might run into decks where like their main combos work off of draw certain cards, and if you got that Ash Blossom and you stop at the right time, you can interrupt it and give yourself a turn to think of something. I run 1 White Dragon Wyvern Burst and 1 Black Dragon Coil Serpent, and that's for the combo with Thunder Dragon Colossus and the Union Carrier and the Dragon Buster Sword. I run 1 Denko Seko only because for the most part I don't really set cards with this deck. Besides like these 3 cards, but I don't really set cards that much. So this works really well with potentially dealing with Eldritch, and just makes it that my opponent can't use their back row as much as they want to, and because of Dragon Thunder Matrix, I can boost Denko Seko up as much as I need to, which is really good. So that's why I have at least 1 in here. I have a Lupine in here, and the reason I do it is because it's really good. Because if I have any Thunder Dragon monster, I can, in my hand with Lupine, I can summon it. And if the effect is negated, I usually banish a Thunder Dragon, banish Thunder Dragon Dark, and grab a Thunder Dragon Fusion. Now, hopefully by that turn, I have another card to either go into Titan, or the card that I banish is Thunder Dragon, not regular Thunder Dragon, so I go to Thunder Dragon Colossus. Or I get to play where I can use the Thunder Dragon Matrix to discard that, go into Thunder Dragon Colossus, whatever the case may be. So hopefully I usually have that set up, but that's one of the ways I really like to use a Lupine. I run through 3 Thunder Dragon Darks. And I usually like to run a lot of dark monsters because of Lord Darkness. So I run 3 of those standard. They help go into my Thunder Dragon monsters. My Thunder Dragon Fusions help me just really search my deck. I run 1 Thunder Dragon Hawk, so I only can. But Thunder Dragon Hawk helps with either special summoning one of my monsters from my graveyard if I really need one of my big monsters back, or potentially shuffle in my hand to get a better hand. I don't really use that effect that often, but it does help to have that option available. Thunder Dragon Roar really helps with getting my Thunder Dragon Fusion back out of the graveyard or even the banishment zone, as well as just getting cards I need out of graveyard for combos when I need them. The Kaiju is there just that way I can go to Kaiju into my Thunder Dragon King, so that's another Thunder monster I can go in the field. Or just in general, if I need to get rid of a monster that can't be destroyed by a battle, I use Kaiju to tribute it. Same with Lava Golem. The only risk you play with Lava Golem, just like with the Kaiju, is that you are giving your opponent a monster. The only upside is Lava Golem, you do 1,000 damage as well, so it works out. But this is another way, just if I can't get around a monster because it can't be destroyed by battle or card fact, I use Lava Golem to just tribute them. I run 1 Chaos Creator, and my reason for using Chaos Creator is that I usually can get my cards out of banishment zone, so it's not a problem. But it's just another way to shuffle cards back into my deck, as well as get special summons on the field, and get a free summon on the field, a monster on the field, to potentially go into some of my link summons or some of the cards that I need in my extra deck. Alright, no, it's there. That's your destroy back row. Gold Sarcophagus is used because if I draw the right cards, or just at least a Thunder Dragon card in general, I can use Gold Sarcophagus, banish Thunder Dragon Dark, meaning I still get his effect, pull a Thunder Dragon Fusion, and then immediately go into Thunder Dragon Colossus. So it's really good in that regard. Lord Darkness is there for draw power, and I run a lot of dark monsters for the most part. Yeah, I run a lot of dark monsters for the most part. I might adjust it a little bit to put some more dark monsters in there, but for the most part, I do run a lot of dark monsters, so I have 3 Lord Darkness. That may change in the future. I'm not sure. I might get rid of 1 for Torrential Tribute, but we gotta see how it works out. I run 2 Thunder Dragon Fusions, mainly because I use them for my Thunder Dragon Titan. I don't really need them for my Thunder Dragon Colossus, but just in case I need it, I have 2. Just in case they banish one, I have another one in the back row, just in case. That's why they're there. Also, they're really good because I can, if they're in my graveyard, banish it and then pull a Thunder Dragon card from my deck. So it also helps with search power as well. I use Chaos Space because I do have some cards that can't be summoned normally. So Chaos Space helps me search with search power as well as with draw power, because I can return a banished monster that can't be normally summoned, which usually is going to be one of these, and that gives me an extra draw. Cosmic Cyclone is for back row, mainly for Eldritch, because I run into some Eldritch that's going to be a problem, but mainly for back row to get rid of it if necessary, and just really get it out of the way completely. Mirror Force is there for protection as well as Torrential Tribute, because I can protect my monsters with card effect. So if I have the Torrential Tribute, I go to Torrential Tribute, destroy the field, and protect my monsters, so my monsters still on the field, so I still have that presence. Mirror Force Launcher is there to essentially get as much use out of Mirror Force as possible and kind of recycle it as many times as I can. Then on my extra deck, you know what Thunder Dragon Colossus is in there for, you know what Thunder Dragon Titan is there for. I like Thunder Dragon Titan, and I really like it when I have it in my hand with any of my Thunder Dragon, but mainly with Thunder Dragon specifically. Because if I can fusion summon into Thunder Dragon using the other two and I have one in my hand, essentially with Colossus, that's 2 pops that I got on the field automatic. So that works. I run one number 39. Mainly because it negates attacks, as well as I do run some level 4s in here, so it could work out. And it's another way to go into my Zeus. I run 1 Drill Driver Vespersin, mainly because it does piercing, but also with Chaos Creator, I can potentially get level 5s on the field with his effect. And also, that's another way to once again go into Zeus. Then I play Zeus, and the reason I play Zeus is because essentially Zeus is a dark hole, or essentially a field wipe for everything without wiping itself, which is really good. And what makes it really good is that once per turn, if another card control is destroyed by opponent's card effect, then I can attach 1 card from my deck, hand deck, or extra deck to this card's material, which is fine because I can constantly attach and use the materials. And once again, I keep looking over there. I can easily reshuffle cards to my deck with this format, so I have no problem with. Don't care if attaching materials to it. But Zeus is there for if I get them just to wipe the field and just to get a clear wipe, board wipe, when I need it, and also could potentially lead into big damage. So if I can board wipe and I have cards in my hands, it can lead into some big plays. I run 1 Striker Dragon to basically lead into the Union Carrier. It's an extension that leads to the Union Carrier, and also it has another use later, which I'll explain. I'm going to run Heroic Seal of the Heaven, mainly because I don't mind putting cards in my graveyard, and I can reshuffle them back, and it's a way to get an additional return off the field, especially if I need to return something dangerous. I run 1 Nightmare Phoenix. Essentially, it's used to once again pop backfield if I need it, just because I can't pop it with my other cards. It's another way to pop backfield. I run 2 Thunder Dragons. I run Som Summoner, Mainly because it's really good for getting for especially some of my Thunder monsters, and because I use a lot of Thunder monsters, it's typically easy to get on the field. But it's also a way to ride along with Chaos Creator, get a Thunder monster on the field that I can then use for Sing's links and all that. I run one Union Carrier, you know why I run that. I run one Triple Burst Dragon. It helps out with essentially making sure that I don't get hit with nothing during battle phase. Also, is a really good card as an extender. It has decent attack, and also is used for another. Is used for Access Code Talker to target to give it that boost. So that way, Access Code Talker can get a good boost off of that. I run one Appaloosa, mainly because when I get this on the field, it's another means of negation for monster effects, which is really good. And with this deck, the way it works is that typically I can usually get a good amount of monsters in the field. So I don't get it all the time, but I can get it here and there, and it helps out a lot. I run Access Code Talker because I do run a good amount of links in here. And Access Code Talker is just a good card to, in general, when you do get on the field, you can target one of, like, I target Triple Dragon. I usually target Triple Burst Dragon. Get the extra attack, and then because no effects can be activated in response to his effects, is a good way to just literally clear their board. So this is my Thunder Dragon deck recipe. This is my take on it. If you stayed this long, you enjoyed the content and enjoyed the deck profile, make sure to subscribe to the Dragon Nation as well as that bell for notifications so we're notified whenever I drop a new video, any updates that happen on my channel, and the variety of content I provide on my channel. That's my deck recipe. That's my take on it. That's how I like to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I will have more deck profiles in the future. I know that this deck is probably not meta and probably not as proficient. I try to make it as proficient as possible while still being able to play the way I like to play and enjoy the deck the way I like to enjoy it. I will eventually make some competitive decks. Like some super high level competitive decks, like probably Drytrons or something like that, just because like the plat is flooded with Drytrons and Tri Brigades. So I mean, it's really hard to not really hard, but it's really hard. Not really hard, but it's annoying to fight against those decks because of what they can do, or might make some of the number wall cards because they're a problem too. So eventually I might make like those decks because they're flooded with it. Just so that way if I really want to go like super competitive and be like, alright, now like I'm putting myself on the same level as you and where it could be, that I will make those decks in the future. But that's gonna be in this deck profile video. So if you stayed this long and you enjoyed the content all the way through, make sure that you jump up and tear, shred, crumble, break, destroy, annihilate that like button so the likes get jammed, the likes keep rolling. Also remember to comment down below, let me know what you like and what you didn't like. And also let me know your take on the deck profile. Throw some suggestions down there that may help out the deck, what you think, as well as potentially some deck profiles that you want to see me do. Some decks that you would like to see my take on, you would like to see me play. As well as games that you would like to see me play that you would think I might enjoy, that you might enjoy me playing. And if I have it and you have it, just some games that you might like to see my take and build on and whatnot. And don't be afraid to suggest maybe some cards that may help my deck out a little bit, may help it out a little bit, help it grow. But with that being said, this is your boy that Dragon J, and remember, no matter what you do, no matter what you start, no matter what you put your time into, keep that same energy. See y'all next time. Love y'all. Deuces.